Advertising.
The Isiah Factor Uncensored starts now. Welcome and thank you for joining us for The Factor Uncensored tonight. Is this a case of a white man trying to be too down for the cause? Many are calling out California Governor Gavin Newsom for allegedly trying to dumb himself down to be relatable to the blacks. Here's a statement that slipped from his lips in a town hall.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. This may be the wrong business to be in.
I don't know what the hell is going on there. Let's get to our guest tonight to weigh in on this. Joining us now, Todd Smith, CEO of Regal Media, conservative David Hamilton, and politician Carmen Maria Montiel. Glad to have you all in the... Oh, there's so many issues with that statement. All right. Todd, let's begin with you. Your thoughts about this? I felt uncomfortable seeing it, watching it. I don't know what I know what he was trying to do. Your thoughts?
He was trying to relate to us, but he was pandering to black people. He said, I'm not trying to impress people, but I want you to impress me as a politician.
Right.
I don't want you to be on my level academically, and I did better than 960, just straight up, you know what I mean? But I want him to be a leader. Like a lot of people complain about Obama being too articulate, and I couldn't have a beer with Obama, but I want my politicians and leaders to be smarter than me, to be a level higher than me, because you're going to be dealing with issues that require that type of acumen. So to come to a black audience and try to pretend like we're all struggling academically or we're all struggling to read, that's very, very offensive. I think he's trying to be down, but I think what Democrats need to realize is you don't have a monopoly over black voters. You might think you do, and historically we vote that way, but we're not naive to think that there's not racism in the Democratic Party. So if I call out Trump all the time, which I do, I have to call him out too, because this is totally unacceptable.
Guys, David, let's start with you. Is this a case, and of course, we've had Angela Box on here, and she always says, I hate white people who are too liberal and they're tree-hugging and they pander to blacks. So is this a case of that, or was this a misstep?
Yeah, I think he was trying to be self-deprecating. That was one part of it. So he's trying to kind of poke fun at himself in order to make a connection with the audience, while also pandering in a way that was definitely talking down to the audience. And so I think...
Did you feel uncomfortable watching that?
It made me uncomfortable. So
Did you say, give me your white card back?
Yes.
We're kicking you out of the club, Gavin.
So, yeah, I don't know where it's going to go, but somewhere.
No.
So I played college and semi-pro basketball, and the semi-pro basketball team that I played on in Mississippi, it was black-owned. Every coach was black. Every player except me was black. I was the only white person in the whole organization. And so it was a great learning experience for me because...
But you didn't walk in, what's up, bruh?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I probably did every once in a while. No. I learned to appreciate the music. I learned to appreciate the culture, right? So there are a lot of things that I can find to connect with people of all races on. And so I don't have to say, I'm dumb just like you. I can't read just like you. Like, where does, I don't know.
All right.
So.
It's, he hit a new low, the lowest of low, like throwing himself under the bus in order to appeal to the people while insulting the community. I think, like, oh, I'm like you. And it says he's 960, and then he just completely belittled himself, and then the excuse is to be dyslexic. I'm dyslexic myself. I never belittle myself. I'm just put myself as an example of how I raise on top of it instead of belittling myself. But it's just what the Democrats do. How many times have the Democrats like Biden say, well, black kids are not that smart? And here he goes in front of a whole black audience and say, I'm just like you. I just got 960 in the SAT, and it's just, you wonder, like, okay, you just insulted yourself or insulting everybody. I'm telling you, he should be in a comedy club or something like that.
Todd, he has released a book, a memoir about himself, and of course, he's on the tour around the country. Clearly, he has aspirations to run for president in 2028. Does this hurt it at all?
I think it does. But also what will help him, I think, people have a short memory. Next week, people will be talking about something else. People will forget about this now. If he wins the primary, now I can see the Republicans using this to their advantage, because Donald Trump did make inroads with black men, and they might say, whoever the person is, you see, they're not as bad. They're just as bad as you say we are. So it can come back to hurt him, but in the short run, people will forget about this next week. But you have to be careful. The pandering part, you mentioned about the black basketball team. You do have people of other races like, what's happening, my bro? Like, just be yourself. That's highly offensive. If I come around to a large Hispanic group and I start talking about I'm salsa dancing, that's very disrespectful and ignorant. Just be yourself. We are all people, and Democrats and Republicans have to understand that.
And that's a common thread. We're all people.
And just talk to me like a person, and you'll gain my respect. Don't talk to me as a product or a commodity as a black person. I'm a human being. You don't need to talk slang. Talk to me real.
And last 30 seconds, David, do you think this will hurt presidential chances, or will this come up again down the road?
So for me, a much bigger issue is what he's done to the state of California. And so California is a beautiful state, very productive state. A lot of things have gone right for it economically. And then Gavin Newsom's tenure as governor has been disastrous for the state of California. And so I don't think this gaffe helps him, but I think the biggest issue that he has to overcome is, one, what has he accomplished? And you know, there's somebody created an app to show where homeless people have pooped on the street in California. And like, he's got to overcome those issues more importantly than he has to overcome.
All righty, guys. Thank you for joining us here on The Factor. Still ahead tonight, more controversy, a racial slur that no one bothered to bleep. It happened at a prestigious awards show. Some say it's simply the result of a disorder. Or is it? Keep it here on The Factor. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Tonight, the British Academy of Film Awards and the BBC are saying sorry after a racial slur was broadcast during last night's award ceremony. Now, this happened while Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were representing or presenting an award. Here's a clip. Take a look.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making. We're here to
Oh, the man heard cursing is John Davidson, a Tourette syndrome advocate. Davidson says he feels mortified and did not intend for that to happen. The show was aired on a 2-hour tape delay, so the curse words could have been edited out. And producers for the show say they simply didn't hear the word. Joining us to talk about it tonight, licensed professional counselor Brittany Boudreau, Cheryl Cadman of the Tourette Association of America, and Todd Smith. So, Todd, let's begin with you. Your thoughts here.
When I initially heard it, I know I've heard about Tourette syndrome, but I'm not as knowledgeable, and I know they have uncontrollable outbursts, but I thought that it had to be within you somewhere. Like whatever came out of your mouth had to be somewhere in your heart, somewhere in your vocabulary. So when I heard it, I empathize with his syndrome, but I was like, it could have been avoided. And also the organization could have edited that out, and there was no reason to let that slide when they edited out so many other things.
Absolutely. And so Brittany and Cheryl, I want to get you guys involved in here and just hop in. When a word like that comes out of somebody's mouth, it doesn't just come out of anywhere. There were a bunch of white people on stage. The N-word didn't come out. So what do you think this is about? Your children had it, Cheryl, and you work with the organization. What is that?
Well, first of all, to say less than 15% of all people that have Tourette have coprolalia, which is what that
different form
symptom is.
Yeah.
It's whatever is the most socially inappropriate, not necessarily a swear word or a racial slur, but whatever is most socially inappropriate. And it comes deep within the brain in the basal ganglia. So it isn't a in here heart, it's in here brain. And it's triggered, it's totally involuntary. So there were 2 black individuals there. That's what came out. In an airport, it might be hijack or bomb. It could be whatever is triggered in the basal ganglia. It's a problem of disinhibition. And the film that was about his life clearly illustrated that. And I think the audience should have been made aware. And if they were going to not edit this from the general public, there should have been something blurbed on screen about Tourette.
And Brittany, I want to bring you in too, but Cheryl, you're looking at 2 black people on stage. That had to come from him. You're saying don't blame his heart, but he saw 2 black people on stage and said the N-word. He didn't say it when the white people were on stage. It was something else. So there's got to be some justification.
It's the most socially inappropriate, whatever it is. If there had been someone in a wheelchair or someone different, he was apparently, you couldn't hear it because it was edited, he was cursing all evening long. And so I think that's where it comes from. And after doing this for 38 years and understanding the humiliation that people that have Tourette feel, and the empathy that they have, they themselves are bullied, mocked, treated with scorn. It's almost unthinkable to do this to another human being.
All right, Brittany, let's bring you in before we run out of time. Your thoughts, your thoughts about it.
I agree with how you said. I think if we had time to edit everything out, everything should have been edited out. I mean, there were certain other political comments made, other curse words said that were edited out. So my question is, why did we keep this word in? They say that they didn't hear it, but millions of people watching the video on the internet can hear it clear as day. So I'm not sure if I believe that that is the best excuse. And I do, agree with how Cheryl is saying people with the syndrome are bullied, and we can have compassion for them, but I think we should also have compassion for the people that were offended, because I don't believe that just because his intention wasn't to harm, that there was no harm. It harmed the Black community. And so I think two things can be true at once. We can have compassion for those with this syndrome, but we can also have compassion for the Black community and the consistent racial slurs that we often hear.
Does he at all, any of you guys, bear any responsibility here, Mr. Davidson?
I think his apology came a little too late.
I don't think it was an apology at all.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. He explained the situation. You know, so I'll correct myself. Even the organization, BAFTA, didn't come up to Delroy and Michael and, like, my bad. So, like you said, if you could edit other political speech, you could edit that. So if you say Free Palestine and that offends one community, okay, that's cool. But when you say something that offends our community, it's like, oh, we didn't hear it. So we've heard that type of excuse before from just the world in general. When it's somebody else, oh, we're compassionate. When it's y'all, just deal with it. And that's where a lot of African Americans are upset.
We only have 30 seconds, so 15 seconds each, really quick to wrap us up.
I mean, I think that, as I just stated, there wasn't really an apology at all, in my opinion. But I do think even if you do something whenever you're not in the right mind or because of a disability, you should still be able to understand the effects that came from it and be able to apologize.
Cheryl, wrap us up.
I do. I think, of course, when it's not intended and it's offensive, one should apologize. However, this is involuntary. It comes from deep within the brain. So you have this, you should, and if you're doing something involuntary, it's offensive, acknowledge it and say you didn't mean it, and of course you're very sorry.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. Still ahead tonight here on The Factor, the spotlight shifts to the ATL as we're joined by the cast of the hit show In Style Atlanta Uncut. Keep it here.
This program is being brought to you by Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer.
Oh, this is big. You really gonna love this?
They jumping a little bit, but they ain't H-Town. They ain't H-Town. Welcome back. Fox Soul's News in Style, Atlanta Uncut, is back for an all-new season. The reality series pulls back the curtain on Atlanta's media and music scene. I sat down with the cast about this newest chapter of their show. Let's get to it. And we have the cast here from In Style Atlanta Uncut. And, of course, you guys are in Season 3. We have with us Carmen Simmons, Arterial Ayers, Jordan with the Juice, Martin, and Tammy Chanel Rowe. Glad to have you all on The Factor. And, of course, you've been in that Galleria Mall. Glad to have you back.
Yes,
do you still have any money in your account after visiting the Galleria here in Houston?
I'm exhausted. You see, she didn't answer the question about she still got her money.
You sure you're not running for office, a politician?
I've stepped every single step of the mall. I cannot account for my wallet.
All right, Arturo, what can we expect this season? Season 3.
Oh.
How do you guys feel about that?
Oh, Isiah, I mean, first of all, it's a pleasure to be with you, sir. Season 3, amazing. Shout out to Fox Soul. The stakes are high. You got Carmen that could be pregnant. You know, so
Fake news.
we trying to figure it out. You know, I don't know, but you know, it's a lot, Isiah. You got new faces. You got Tammy Rowe. You got Jordan with the Juice back again, Season 3. You got Tammy's son. He's a rapper, a new rapper, Ocho, and then his girlfriend J3. So, and I mean, we got so much going on.
And so you're marrying the show with music now.
Yeah.
And what can people, Jordan with the Juice, expect from this marriage of music and, of course, magazine, newspaper publishing, what you guys do?
So you get to see everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, our hustle, our drive, our love and passion for this industry. But it's not always pretty. It's not always the glitter and the glam. Like, I do a lot of the media. I go out and do a lot of the interviews, and I'm doing a lot of the celebrity interviews. And there's been times where I've been stood up waiting 3 hours to conduct an interview, and the person will hit us up at the last minute and say, oh, okay, we're not coming. Or they just don't show up at all. Or when I'm on a red carpet and I'm fighting for a spot on the red carpet. I'm only 4'11" now, Isiah, okay?
Right.
So, you know, it's a lot that I got to fight for to get to the front. But sometimes it's also just our real lives. Like, really, we got kids. Tammy and I both have kids that we're sitting here trying to raise and make sure they're doing right, but we still running businesses. We're still being employees. We're still doing everything else in our personal lives. So we're bringing it all together, highlighting her son, Ocho, who is a new artist, and yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot that goes on in our lives day in and day out.
All right, and tell me, what kind of drama are you bringing to the table?
I don't really know about drama per se, but it's more so just showing the balance of motherhood and entrepreneurship and shining a little light that, you know, especially in our culture, you know, there's a lot of dysfunction. I'm an 80s baby, you know, we grew up a little different. So just showing that you can have a little positivity, you know, with raising kids. It's not always drama. It's not always addiction that's in the family household and stuff. There is some good outcomes. So I'm just here to shine the light on the positivity part.
And how important is that in what we consider many times an industry where you see a lot of drama, reality? How is it to bring the grounded positivity to the picture as well? Think they're going to write you out?
Sometimes.
You too positive?
Sometimes I will say, some people like...
Don't let it fool you.
But, you know, there's a new set of, like they say, new levels, new devils. It's new, you know, it's stuff that comes with being successful and having a successful son and running a, you know, record label and also being a nurse and having a whole nursing agency. So I balance a lot. So people get to touch into that and, you know, hopefully be inspired to say, hey, I can do it too.
All right.
So,
and Carmen, this is season 3 for you, and of course you were there. This is your baby. Your thoughts seeing this growth for your show?
I'm excited for all of the new faces, the new cast, the new stories, because we wanted to make sure that we found balance. You know, we're talking about the media personalities, but we also have a production company. We're managing talent, and these people have lives. You know, it is about behind the scenes. You know, as Jordan was saying, you know, she has a son who just went to college, but she's the executive producer of a radio show. What is that like, having to be at work at 5 in the morning, but also maybe getting a call from your son who's hours away in a university? You know, what is it like as Tammy, as an entrepreneur who is running a nursing agency, but her son decided, I don't want to play football anymore, I want to rap. And then we manage the talent that's on the show. So I just want to make sure that we're showing all these stories and making sure that our viewers know that this is hard work.
We want to thank you guys. Season 3, you can catch it on Fox Soul. Carmen Simmons, Arturo Ayers, Jordan Martin, and Tammy Chanel Rowe. Thank you all for joining us here on the
Thank you.
And of course, they're always so much fun. Once again, Season 3 on Fox Soul in Style Atlanta. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Streams and streams of exclusive content. Stream now on Fox.
And thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate your support here on The Factor Uncensored, and continue to support us on social media, where you can catch us on our new YouTube channel. Make sure you go there and subscribe and check out all the videos from the past that you may have missed at ISIAH Factor Uncensored. That's on YouTube. And don't forget about Instagram, X, and of course, Facebook. So we want to thank you guys once again, and don't forget to download the Fox Soul app, where you can catch In Style Atlanta as well. It ain't Houston, but it's Atlanta. So, okay. That'll do it for The Factor Uncensored. We'll see you here next time. Have a good one.
Welcome to the Nightcap. I'm your host, Cindy Urbano, house sitting for Carolina Sanchez. But y'all get this, Gen Z is actually having less sex than any generation before them. So much for hookup culture, right? Before we get into it, let's head over to the bar with our friend Diego Flores from Tago. Diego, welcome.
Hey Cindy, how are you?
I am fabulous, and I can't wait to try this drink because somebody told me that we're like the first ones to have it.
Yeah, so that's gonna be our Tago Twist. That's gonna hit our menu here next week. That's gonna be a play on a Mexican margarita. It's gonna have some passion fruit in there, some almond liqueur, followed with some Teremana tequila. Not a sponsorship, but Teremana, the best tequila you can use.
Oh, I love it.
Hope you guys enjoy it.
Oh, we will. You're gonna have to tell us how to make it later on in the show, okay?
I got you.
Guys, better get comfortable tonight. We'll find out why the youngest adults are cooling off between the sheets. Let's get into it.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
Welcome back. It's your girl, Cindy Urbano, and tonight we're trying to understand why Gen Z is really not having that much sex, according to a lot of studies and, previous generations.